active on social media or YouTube, you probably come across from time to time a video like a life hacks video. Like it'll show you unique ways to do things that you do every day. And it's like, man, I sure wish I would have known that before. Like that's a game changer, right? And I don't know that I would call this a life hack per se, but our text from this week in Exodus 34 is an opportunity for us to learn a trick or something to be our antennas up when we're approaching Bible study and Scripture. I wanted to show that to you today as an encouragement to maybe strive you to look for unique layers in Scripture. So I hope that'll make more sense for you here in just a minute. So this past week in our journey through Exodus, we looked at Exodus 34, and there's a lot of rich content as it relates to the narrative of where this is in the timeline of the people of Israel. There are rich connections to who Christ is and what he has done for us. There are great even suggestions on the impact that spending time with God has on us and how it impacts others. So lots of beautiful things there. If you missed the sermon, you can go back and check it out. And this gives us the opportunity to look at what is the most commonly or repeated Hebrew text that's quoted throughout the Old Testament, and that is in Exodus 34, 6, 7, and 8. And this is kind of the infamous description of the character and nature of God. When you're reading this, I would suggest that you pay attention to a couple of things. One, it's important to more deeply understand the nature of God and his faithfulness, and that's kind of the big point of this. But I promised you maybe a tip, trick, life hack, if you would, on studying Scripture. So that's what I want to focus on today in this video commentary. When you look at Exodus chapter 34 and verse 6, I'm going to read it that we normally teach from the English Standard Version, not because it's the best, it's just my preferred translation. And it reads this way: "The Lord passed before him and proclaimed, the Lord, a God of merciful and gracious, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness." So much I can learn from just studying that. However, when you have the time and it is part of your process to compare Scripture with Scripture, when you're looking at cross references that your study Bible gives you, and in fact, if you want to learn more how to do that, we've got a separate video on our website or on our YouTube that's just walking through how to do inductive Bible study. And one of those steps in the observation process is to compare Scripture with Scripture, and that drives me to look at cross references. Another way, this gets us into the life hack tips and tricks approach, is to compare various English translations. We have some translations that are better than others. We have no perfect English translation, okay? So what's fascinating is understanding one principle. The Hebrew language is very different than most Western languages. Eastern languages in general think with a lot more imagery and pictures and associations. So there are some words that are so rich and deep, there is no English word that succinctly compares to it. And this is the clue. When you come to verses or words that when you compare one English translation to another, and you see that that word is translated a variety of different ways, that should be a light bulb. That should be kind of the Kmart blue light special moment that says, oh, here's a clue that there's something going on here. Let me demonstrate. Exodus 34 verse 6 in the English Standard Version, abounding in steadfast love. The New Living Translation says unfailing love. The Berean Standard Bible, abounding in loving devotion. The King James Bible, goodness. The New King James, goodness. The New American Standard, abounding in faithfulness. The New American Standard in 1995, abounding in loving kindness. Let's pick another. The Christian Standard Bible, abounding in faithful love. Or the Holman Christian Standard, rich in faithful love. We see all of this to say, here is a Hebrew word. The actual Hebrew word is chesed. It's kind of got that, phlegm in your throat. Chesed is the Hebrew word, but it is such a complex word. The English translations, none of them do it justice. That's a clue for you. When you are taking the time to observe Scripture, you're comparing Scripture with Scripture by digging into cross references, and then you compare English translations. And when you see such a difference in how this one word is translated, that is not saying that one translator is better than another. That is a clue that there very well could be, and in this situation there is, a Hebrew word that is so deep in its meaning, there is no English word that compares to it. And that should then drive me to spend more time digging into that original word. So that may be a way to, maybe I don't have the time or the bandwidth to study every original word, but when I see those differences in translations, that's a clue that may be a word I need to spend more time in. In fact, the Hebrew word chesed really is, it's more of a loyalty language. In fact, I have heard some more modern commentators even suggest loyal love may be a better way for us to grasp the depth of that type of love. Yes, it is unfailing. Yes, it is loving kindness. But this sense of loyalty in that love gives us a deeper understanding to say he's never going to turn our back on us. There's nothing that we could ever do to cause him to love us any more or less than he already does. And in fact, you've heard me and others say that simple statement. Well, that extravagance of love, it's way more than just unconditional. There's a sense of deep faith and loyalty to us as demonstrated in that word. And I've now used multiple sentences and even a few paragraphs to even inadequately describe what in the Hebrew language is one word, chesed. We could talk more about what that word means, but I would encourage you to pursue and dig into what is chesed in Hebrew. And this is an example when you're studying Scripture of a clue on when those words are deep and rich when our translations even can't describe them together. So I want to just kind of show that to you today to equip you when you're studying Scripture and you're walking through a good inductive process on what are some things to look for that should be a clue for you to even go deeper. So I hope you're encouraged, challenged by that today. If we can help along the way, don't hesitate to reach out. In fact, if you missed last week's sermon where we talked about the nature of God and the full context of Exodus 34, check out our website. And until next time, God bless.